want to ask you about your leadership perspective. So can you share briefly some of the situations and people that you came across that shaped your thoughts, your attitude, and the manner in which you understand leadership?
There have been a host of leaders that I learned from, but primarily, I remember I spent a 3-day seminar on leadership, Christian leadership, and that helped me a lot in focusing and organizing my thoughts about leadership. That seminar helped a lot, and in India we conducted that kind of seminar, a number of seminars in which a lot of leaders took part. But I got some lessons from a number of leaders in different areas. They all have different lessons to teach. For example, earlier on, the political leaders, some of the political leaders were much more committed to the people and service, selfless service. I very well remember Nehru, Gandhi, on down, a number of very important leaders. They all had something to teach. As far as the church leadership is concerned, most of what I learned from my father. My father was a pastor of a fairly large church and different churches as he was transferred. A lot of things, how he dealt with people who differed from him, people who made a lot of noise but no contribution. Before any big event like the church business meeting or something, he would fast and spend half a day, some hours purely in prayer. That kind of thing helped me a lot. When he felt that in the business meeting there have been controversies and all that, he would stop everything and ask people to quiet down and pray. That kind of leadership. There have been leadership in theology and theological thinking. In that, I would say John Stott was a great friend of mine and a leader, and I used to spend some time with him. He came and stayed with us in my seminary for a week, and many times we worked together. Very great thinker in theological leadership. But I myself was thrust into the leadership of being the principal of one of the largest theological seminaries at that time. It was the largest, not only one of the largest theological seminaries, it was the only upper level or graduate level theological seminary at Yavatmal. I was thrust into it. I didn't want to take it. I thrust into it. So I learned a lot of things just by doing, by listening to people, and my only principle was to love Christ and to serve Him and love my colleagues. So I made them as my friends, not as those who worked under me, but we discussed together. Anyway, we learned together. Lessons of leadership. Thank you. Yeah.
Is there a process that a Christian leader can follow to develop themselves? Is there any process or any principles that can guide a Christian leader to develop themselves?
Yeah, I think it should be primarily a deep sense of call from God for a particular position of leadership. That sense of call ought to be there, of course, for everybody to serve God, but then sense of God to take up leadership position. Otherwise, the burdens and challenges of leadership will crush the person. And a second principle we should consider is the work of the Lord should not take our time alone with God. Time alone with God for Himself. Otherwise, His work became a substitute for the Lord. And that will defeat a leader. It's a very big principle we must keep in mind. We think we are pleasing Him, we are doing His work, and we are so busy that we do not spend time. One time Billy Graham took a survey of a few thousands of Christian leaders, and hardly 10% of them, 1 out of 10, spend at least half an hour alone every day with God. That's a tragedy, you see. So that should not be there. I would say a third principle ought to be humility. Very important humility. It's you have a title, you are a leader, you are tempted to play up your position, and as we are told, overloading and ruling rather than a sense of serving. And also, I would say leaders should have a certainty as to what is the core of our faith. Without a certainty, very difficult. You see. So certainty as to the core is very important for a leader, and he must stand with that. What else can I say? I would say a leader should have an agenda bigger than himself. He must live for an agenda. He must work for something that not easily accessible, easily possible. So your agenda or program and life ought to be bigger than you. I think these are some of the things probably one should remember as kind of for developing leadership.